How's it going, boys and girls? My name is Kawi and welcome back to the Carrot Club. In today's video, we're going to talk about game services that you can use inside of Studio to help you build your game. If you have been following my videos or other tutorials on YouTube, you probably have seen services being used many times. So for example, if you look at the Explorer window inside of the Studio, the list here with Workspace, Players, Server Script Service, Replicated Storage, Replicated First, these are all examples of services. They exist for the sole purpose to make your development job easier, and these services collectively make up the Roblox game engine ecosystem. If this sounds a bit confusing, let's think about this using a real-world example. Let's think about your computer for a moment. You know that there is a motherboard, there is a power supply, there is a CPU, there are RAMs, there is a hard drive, and many other things that goes inside of that computer. Each one of these components is a service that make up one part of the computer. You don't really know how they're made, you just know where to buy them and how to put them together. So each component by itself, they do nothing. A motherboard would just be a motherboard, but if you put it all together, you got yourself a working computer. And just like a computer, Roblox have all these individual services working together that make up a game. And as a developer, you can use these services to organize your game and construct your game world. The best part is, you don't have to deal with all of the low-level technical stuff, so I hope that this makes sense. So let's go through some of these services so you know what they do. The most common one is the Workspace, which you have been working with since the beginning. Everything you see inside of this viewport is a representation of what's inside of Workspace. If you put a model inside here, the model will appear on the viewport. And as you know, what you see here is exactly what you're going to see inside of a game. The player service keeps track of who joins the game on the server. So if I were to join the game, you can see that my name is inside here. And if other players were to join, their name will also appear here as well. And when you are coding your game, you can use this player service to find out who just joined the game so that you can set up the game data before the player starts playing. The lighting service controls the environmental lighting in the game. Now, I rarely use this because I'm not a builder. If you want to make your game to have a certain mood, you can tweak the lighting section here and that will change the appearance of your game. If you want your game to be in the nighttime, you can change the clock time to like 20 and that will turn the daylight into nighttime. The Replicated First is a storage container that gets run before anything else. If you have seen games where there is like a loading screen at the beginning, the loading screen is stored inside of the Replicated First storage. So when the game runs, it will run the stuff inside here first. Typically, you want to use this for loading screen or tutorial screen because you want the players to see those first before they play the game. And then we got the Replicated Storage, which is a shared container between the server and the client. So basically, you want to use this container for things that you want both the client and the server to see. Stuff like remote event and remote function that is shared between the client and the server would go inside here. The server script service is a container for server script and module script. So when the game runs, the script inside of this container will get executed one at a time automatically. This is where you want to write all of your game logics or any code that is related to your game because this container only exists inside of the server and nowhere else. It is the safest place to keep your game code. So for example, if I want to create a leader stats for a player that just joined the game, the code to do that will go inside of the server script service. The server storage is a storage container for you to keep anything that is not needed right away. If you have a shooting game and you have like 20 guns for example, you don't need all 20 guns right away. You might only need 3 of them out of the 20. So anything that is not used immediately goes inside of the server storage waiting to be copied or cloned into the game. If you have a really rare item for example, you don't need it right away since not everybody is going to get it right off the bat. And when you do need it, you can just copy it from the server storage and place it inside of the player. And then next up, we got Starter GUI, which is a storage container meant only for UI components. Any UI component that is inside here will be copied into the player when they join the game. Now, you might not understand what I'm saying right now, but in the future, I will be making a whole UI series to show you how Starter GUI is used. And then we got Starter Pack, which is a container for your backpack. Any tools you make goes inside here. So things like sword, axe, armor, potions, stuff like that. When the game runs, all of these tools will get copied into your player's backpack and they'll show on the tool belt here, then you can just equip it. And the last service that I want to mention is the starter player. This one is a little bit more complicated to explain because there is two components inside here and they both do different things. For now, just know that this is where you will place local script to customize a player's control and character's behavior. The rest of the stuff like teams, sound service, chat, localizations, and tests, you won't need to learn them if you're new to this. I haven't gone to them yet and I've been studying this for over a year now. So I hope that this little video tells you more about what service is. Again, thank you boys and girls for watching, and I'll see you in the next video in-game or at the Carrot Club. Take care everybody.